face-off faces today. And there is Lydia Martin, the graduate student from Anderson, South Carolina, transferred to Oklahoma from Liberty. This is her second season as an Oklahoma Sooner. We mentioned got to spend some time with the U.S. Collegiate National Team in practices and training during the offseason. It's made her a much more confident player, says Oklahoma head coach Aaron Mansfield. Good crowd on their feet at McCaslin Fieldhouse as we are set to go. And first to put it into the air will be Whitney Wallace of Oklahoma from Los Gatos, California, St. Francis High School, who will get off to a good start. Now, that's an area that Aaron Mansfield highlighted to us earlier this week. Feels like if Oklahoma, if they can just eliminate one or two of those per set, they'll be right where they need to be.
That's right, Chad. He mentioned 2 to 3 unforced errors per set. If we can just kind of get those out, take them out of the set, good things can happen, because maybe in those losses to the top 25 teams, Florida and Kentucky, could have been a little bit better with those unforced errors.
Setter Hannah Hogue with the opening serve for the Razorbacks today. Oklahoma sets the middle, and coming through is KJ Burgess. That's Kelly Jo Burgess, the Utah transfer. She's out of Lehigh, Utah, originally a very welcome addition in an attacking spot for Oklahoma.
Absolutely. Against Kentucky, 6 kills, hit over 300, also had 4 blocks on the night.
Serve back to the Oklahoma libero, Kelly Kim. And 2 service errors to start for the Sooners. Maybe a little tight to get this one started.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kimoha, though, a veteran that rarely comes through with errors on that side for Oklahoma. Here's Courtney Jackson, the opposing libero. Mentioned her. What a start she's off to. Leads the SEC at nearly 5 digs per set. And attacking is Alexis Shelton, just kind of tools that so many weapons in her arsenal, and you see one of them right there to tie it at 2.
Absolutely, just see some line, and credit to her just using the block going off of Thurman's hand.
Alexis Shelton is 3rd in the SEC in points per set. She is also 3rd in kills per set at 4.5 kills per set. Crowd is hushed on this serve by Jasmine Ellison, who came in there. Ripping away is Olivia Huey, the redshirt freshman from Salt Lake City. Shelton off the block, played on the back row by Weeks. Sooners get a touch on that swing by Weeks. Shelton tips it down the line, and it's in.
And that's back-to-back tips down the line, Chad. Block a little on the inside, right? Taking the angle so the line is open. Credit to her, recognizing that. Hannah Hogue back a little bit on her heels, unable to defend that ball.
So Ellison from Toronto, Canada, starting libero for one of the Canadian national youth teams. And Oklahoma able to go get her. And Zoe Evans tears one right down the seam off the Sooner on the back row and out of bounds. We're tied at 3.
And what about that pass by Kylie Weeks? Right on the money. Allows the setter Hannah Hogue to utilize all 3 hitters right now that are on the front row for the Razorbacks.
Avery Callum, sophomore outside hitter from McKinney, Texas Boyd High School, on to do the serving. Played a little bit as a freshman 2 years ago and then didn't play. She watched last year. Lydia Martin up high and down hard. 4-3.
They run that so fast, and Lydia Martin's hitting at such a high point. It's really hard to block. And so on the backside of the defenders, you got to be ready to dig that ball. All 3 hits so far going in Hannah Hogue's area.
And that is 3 service errors for Oklahoma, comprising 3 of the 4 points for Arkansas already in this opening set.
And those are the unforced errors, right, that Aaron Mansfield wants to cut back on. The key is, can Arkansas capitalize on those errors?
Left-handed serve there from Romani Thurman, the sophomore from Little Rock, transferred from North Carolina. And that one wide is just coming in was Camille Gibson, the freshman transfer from Tennessee. And an attacking error for the Sooners makes it 5-4 Razorbacks in the opening set. And another serve here for Thurman. Jason Watson said Thurman's just more comfortable now. Up in the top 10 in kills per set in the SEC. Shelton tries to tip it across. This one tipped into the net this time by Olivia Huey.
But what about that dig by Courtney Jackson, and then Hannah Hogue one-handed set, trying to get it. It was a little low, and Huey just didn't recognize that fast enough and hit it in the net.
So Lydia Martin back to serve it for Oklahoma. 5 apiece in the opening set. Solid dig there by Callum. Swing into the block by Huey. This one comes outside, tipped across by Sanaya Pettis. And ripped this time by Camille Gibson.
Really?
But it was tipped by the Razorbacks, so 6-5 Oklahoma.
Okay. But really good recognition by the Razorbacks. Kind of Hannah Hogue pressed that block in.
Martin's jump serve hits the tape. Good job alertly to punch it up by Hogue that time. Oklahoma gets a piece of that swing by Huey. And down as the first kill of the match for Camille Gibson, who had to reach way back to play that one in.
The Sooners run their out-of-system ball high and inside, right? And so gives actually Arkansas time to set up the block, but no problem. Camille Gibson hits over the block, drives it to the deep line.
3 straight points for the Sooners, 2 on the serve of Martin, who puts another one into the air. The set comes for Pettis, and look at Shelton. There's Gibson cross court. Great play by Jackson, and pushed across. This time Chamberlain sets the middle, and Burgess strikes. So Kelly Jo Burgess gives Oklahoma a 3-point lead. This is 4 straight Sooner points now.
Yeah, and what we talked about in the beginning, Chad, is that Peyton Chamberlain running that fast offense. It's really hard to defend, and you can see KJ Burgess up and ready. Chamberlain delivers the ball quick to her.
And Arkansas coach Jason Watson, he said it's hard to prepare for it. You can't really simulate the speed of Oklahoma's offense in practice. And another one that's drilled by Gibson. Oklahoma starting to roll 5 straight Sooner points.
Yeah, unless you have it in your gym and you run a quick offense, it's really hard to replicate. And he mentioned that to us, that it's going to be a challenge for them today.
So back-to-back strikes by Camille Gibson. Erin Mansfield said she was very cautious when she first came in, and they asked her to actually play a little more recklessly, and that's opened her up a little bit. 9-5 Sooners. Burgess strikes that one. No touch, and it is wide. An important side out for the Razorbacks there.
And credit to the Razorbacks setting up the block. Even though they didn't get a touch, Chad, they forced that ball out of bounds by KJ Burgess. So sometimes when you're blocking, it's not necessarily of getting the actual touch. It's giving the hitter a different look, a different angle, and forcing that hitter out of bounds.
Here's the redshirt freshman Olivia Huey to do the serving. Chamberlain the set. Shelton will just tip it across. And right there for the Razorbacks was Huey. Ripped cross court by Pettis, and it's too good. Back-to-back points for Arkansas.
And coach told us today that they've been working on their tempo with this slide with Pettis, and you can see in that play right there, super smooth. Credits her by playing clean, doesn't make a lot of errors.
Sanaya Pettis, her second year at Arkansas after 2 very good years at Mississippi State. That was a good save by Chamberlain to keep it alive. Running set this time by Hogue and played across. Gibson cross court, dug out by Callum. Reset this time. Madkin to the back and a little bit long. 10-7 Oklahoma.
And you can see Madkin going after those high hands. That's what she does so well. She makes contact at a high level, high point, and so she was going for the block, just missed it.
So back to do the serving, the Oklahoma setter now, Peyton Chamberlain. 10-7 Sooners. But that's their 4th serving error in this opening set. And the Razorbacks get a side out. They will rotate Evans and Kylie Weeks back in. Weeks will go back and serve it. Redshirt sophomore from Elkhorn, Nebraska. 3rd year at Arkansas. Limited playing time last year on that Elite 8 team. So many of these players sat and watched a good deal.
I mean, it's phenomenal in a program when you can do that and to redshirt so many players so they can be in a whole year of training, Chad. It's hard as a player. I can only imagine, right? Sitting on the bench, knowing you're not going to play, so mentally staying in it. But he credits those players of doing a really good job and really utilizing that year for training. You know,
he also said, you think about that Elite 8 run that they had last year was with several 5th-year players who had that COVID year. So to be able to have 5 years at a place is super valuable. We see the first kill for Kari Geisberger, the graduate transfer from Loyola Marymount, who played for Erin Mansfield 2 years ago at Loyola Marymount. She entered the transfer portal, and Erin Mansfield, very familiar with her and her family. Known her since she was about 12, 13 years old. And when she went into the portal, Coach Mansfield made the call to her family first. And that started the process of her coming to Norman. Sooners called for being over the net. Shelton got a little too high, and we've got a 1-point set here as the Razorbacks able to string together 3 points in a row.
Credit to Hannah Hogue on that play. She really went for it. that ball was going over the net. She drew that foul by the Sooners.
And now Hogue will serve so crafty from Fort Smith Southside High School. Chamberlain the set. Burgess hits it. It hits the tape and goes wide. And we are tied at 11 apiece.
Just a little low for her to crank that ball. But again, that's what happens when you run such a fast offense, Chad. The hitters don't have a lot of time to make a change.
So Hogue serves again. 20 aces on the year to lead Arkansas. Kimoha handles it cleanly. Here's Shelton with the tip off the block. Punched into the air by Hogue. Thurman down the line. There's Kimoha. Chased down by Chamberlain. Jackson the set. Thurman strikes off the block. Saved by Chamberlain. Shelton rips off the block and down, but she was into the net. So the net violation gives the Razorbacks their second lead of the set. They've won 4 straight points.
Yeah, just great. Again, clean play by the Razorbacks. Coach Mansfield told us this team plays clean, and he knows, Coach Watson, that's a huge thing in their gym.
This time Kimoha with the set for Shelton. Big block. Evans and Thurman up there for the Razorbacks. And 2 stouts. Arkansas starting to take control. 2-point lead.
And Evans and Thurman, great communication at the net. Deciding on that overpass, who's going to go for it? Evans says no problem and just sends it back over. Nice and clean.
Run continues for the Razorbacks. They've won 4 straight points to grab a 13-11 lead in the opening set here in Norman.
Oklahoma.
There's the 9th-year head coach of the Razorbacks, Jason Watson. Elite 8 in 2023, the deepest run in program history. And they hosted an NCAA tournament round at Barnhill for the first time since 2006. And so many players who were able to redshirt. He has a member of last year's Elite 8 team on the sidelines with him. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. That's the first Arkansas service error of this opening set. And right now you look at an even set, and the difference, Kelly, right now is Oklahoma's service errors. They've had 4.
Absolutely. I think that's a huge difference when you're looking at the stats. I mean, Oklahoma's leading in almost every category. Arkansas has 1 ace and 1 error, where the Sooners have no aces and have 4 errors.
Callie Kimoha back to do the serving for the Sooners. She is approaching 2nd all-time in digs in Oklahoma program history. She's going to get it today, and there's Thurman thumping that one off the block of Martin and Shelton, and it goes wide.
What a huge in-system play for Arkansas. Thurman, just such a dynamic. She's a left-handed hitter, creates a little different angles, a little bit harder to block.
Chamberlain sits Martin. And Evans got a piece of that, but Martin pounds that one home, taking no chances as she puts that one to the hardwood here at McCaslin Fieldhouse.
Yeah, as a middle, that's your job. Anything at the net, you got to be all over, or you're communicating at a high level of telling someone to go over and get that ball. But just great job by Lydia Martin, recognizing the overpass, putting it away.
Big offseason for Lydia Martin. Had that time with the U.S. Collegiate team and also got married in the offseason. Back for another year with the Sooners. Thurman is blocked there by Martin and Shelton. Martin tips it, touched across by Evans for the Razorbacks. Down. So Lydia Martin making her presence felt.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, she's such a dynamic hitter. And just a little bit of communication by Arkansas and who's going to get that ball. I think Hannah Hogue was looking at Kylie Weeks. She was going to get it.
Be careful with that pony back there. He's trying to get the ball from one of the fans, and the fan did not want to let him have it. Jump serve here by Jasmine Ellison. In-system ball, and Evans down the line and in. Beautifully struck there by the senior middle blocker from Tampa Winegrass High School.
Yeah, that was a beautiful ball. And Zoe Evans has been such a huge component for Arkansas. Against Ole Miss, 4 kills, hit over 600. Just plays clean, right? When you have the opportunity, what are you going to do with the ball? And she does a good job. She also was on that team that made it to the Elite 8 last year. A lot of experience.
She led them with 135 blocks. And Jason Watson said, I just can't speak more highly of anyone than I can her. She had to bide her time. Really didn't play much her first 2 years. Nice save on the back row.
It's all about playing Big D, and they just do their job. We're going to get another look at it again. But Hannah Hogue with the dig. That started it out. Tip down the line. You see her lay out, and then they were able to just convert on points. But then here you go. Lydia Martin just counters back and super successful in the middle.
I mean, from the time that was on the back road to the time it hit the hardwood on the other side, we're talking about 2 seconds maybe?
So fast. And that's why it's so difficult to defend.
And Shelton back to serve it just over the tape. Great save there by Jackson and touchdown, but another great save by Shelton. Gibson cross court. And there's Courtney Jackson again. Thurman to the back, off Kimoha and out of bounds. And Romani Thurman making her presence felt, the North Carolina transfer.
But Courtney Jackson, that's what it comes down to. The SEC Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week, two accolades on the week. That was a beautiful dig. Chad, just an insistent dig on a hard-driven ball from Gibson.
And we asked Jason Watson what makes her so special. He said that Courtney Jackson's eyes and response are elite. Gibson up high to tip that one. She was nearly in the rafters when she made contact. And that violation, we have a lift there, double contact against the Razorbacks.
So new rule this year in the NCAA that you can, setters, anyone that takes the second contact, it can look ugly, it can be double, but when it's going over the net or the other team touches it, it has to be clean out of your hands. And
there's another Oklahoma service error. That's 5 in the opening set. And you look and see the Razorbacks with a 2-point lead and Oklahoma with 5 service errors. It's not hard to do that math.
Yeah, absolutely. And no aces. So when you're looking at the errors, you're looking also at the aces, but they don't have any aces. So and then you just add those points. You take those points away from Arkansas' score, and it's a different look.
Received on the back row by Ellison. Burgess strikes, and that's chased down by Avery Callum. Here's Madkin. Kimoha for the Sooners. Shelton ripping away to the deep back corner, but long. And 19-16, this is the largest lead of the opening set for the Razorbacks now.
And credit to Hannah Hogue. Actually, credit to Arkansas in general. The block, it wasn't pretty, right? But they slowed the ball down. They were able to convert. Hannah Hogue goes almost to the back of the court and is able to deliver that insistent ball to Madkin.
That serve targets Gibson out of the hand of Huey. Cross court. There's a wonderful save that time by Madkin. And another good save, this one by Callum. Chamberlain the set. Burgess strikes off the block and out of bounds. Boy, 2 great defensive plays, but the Oklahoma offense just a little too good on that rally.
Yeah, and Oklahoma, interesting in this set, they're really targeting the right back on the outside attack, but then you have KJ Burgess and they're running. When they're in system, Peyton Chamberlain's doing a really good job of getting her middles involved.
Struck down the seam that time, and Madkin comes through with another.
And just another beautiful set by Hannah Hogue. Delivering that ball high and outside. It allows Madkin to make a decision of what she wants to do. She really didn't have line. Geisberger was up on her. She had a huge angle, and she took it.
Hogue, 6 assists so far in the opening set. Jason Watson said of her that when you've got these kind of inexperienced players, just the ease with which Hogue is able to set them makes the job easier for all of these players. That one was tipped, so the point to Oklahoma.
And Geisberger just delivering that ball down the line. Little size differential between Geisberger and Hannah Hogue on that side.
About a foot.
And that's going to be a component for the Sooners. Look for them to run the offense through Hannah Hogue when she's on the front row.
Wallace with the serve and an ace. Oklahoma's first ace of this set. And it's a 1-point set.
It looks like a little bit of miscommunication by the Razorbacks. Courtney Jackson and Madkin.
You've got Lo Jones back there, redshirt freshman, on the back row for the Razorbacks now. Jackson takes a tough, tight set there, and out of bounds it goes. So the errors early, and now 2 aces for Oklahoma on the service line, coming from Whitney Wallace.
Yeah, and that's huge, right? We're approaching crunch time. It's massive that Oklahoma kind of cleans it up. You've got to take care of the ball. Less unforced errors, especially right now in the set.
So Jason Watson takes a timeout for the Razorbacks. Going to talk things over with his team. 3 straight points and 4 of the last 5 won by Oklahoma to even at this opening set at 20 apiece. Talk about the route for these two teams. Arkansas has a 5-set win over Georgia and a sweep of Ole Miss in the midweek. Both of those coming at home at Barnhill. And for Oklahoma, a week ago today, against number 20 Tennessee, they had their first ranked win since 2014. You were on Santiago Restrepo's staff at Oklahoma for that win. It's been a minute or two ago. This is that win, and they did it in 4 sets as well against the top 20 team a week ago today.
Yeah, I mean, they just took it to them. You can see 20 in this first set. It's about belief. The Sooners have been here in the last 3 sets that matches that they've played against ranked opponents. Can they finish this set? But then you're up against a really good defensive Arkansas team.
And for Aaron Mansfield's team, not just that win, but they were 13 all in the 5th set against both number 15 Florida and on the road at number 13 Kentucky. So 1 or 2 points. And he said now it's the talk from the players. There's a belief that they can win.
Absolutely. And when you're going against a team and you lose 15-13 or you win 15-13, honestly, it could go either way. You're talking about 2 points difference. It really could go either way. So you walk out of there with a win or you walk out of there with a loss. So what can you take away? If you're the loser, what can you take away? And I think they've done a really good job.
Hogue puts this one into the air for the Razorbacks. Kimoa a little off with that. That was a good save just to get it back. Geisberger saved the day for the Sooners. Hogue with the set. Thurman cross court. Chamberlain is set, and Shelton gets blocked. It is Thurman with Evans, and a 2-point lead for the Razorbacks.
What a block for Thurman and Evans. Thurman really diving into that angle, took that away from Alexa Shelton. Credit to her. Let's get a look at it again. Watch Thurman's hands. She presses to the angle. Huge block for Arkansas.
Romani Thurman, her dad. Romani transferred from North Carolina. Had 174 kills and played a good deal. Did Romani Thurman at North Carolina last year.
And what I like about that block is that her eye sequencing on her hitter, she recognizes she's coming in on the angle. We've seen Alexa Shelton so far in this set kind of going down the line, right? So she would have probably expected, but she did a really good job of watching her hips, watching her angle, watching her shoulder, and diving in on that angle at the last second to get.
Aaron Mansfield and the Sooners. These two teams both played in a event at the University of Tulsa in the non-conference play. They didn't play each other, knowing that they were going to play twice in Southeastern Conference play, as these two actually will wrap up the regular season over in Fayetteville on November the 27th, but didn't play each other. They each played Tulsa, a very good NCAA tournament caliber Tulsa team. Oklahoma beat Tulsa. Arkansas dropped their match to Tulsa. So
both matches went to 5.
Right. It's that common opponent thing, yeah, which you probably can't do very much with.
No.
So here's Hogue back on the service line. Razorbacks 3 points away from taking the opening set in their first road SEC match of the season. Geisberger strikes, played on the back by Weeks. Here's Thurman, and that hit the antenna. So the side out to Oklahoma, and a 1-point set now.
And an unforced error. That was an opportunity for Arkansas to score, because I thought Madkin did a really good job of slowing down Geisberger, who's a heavy hitter for the Sooners. She slowed down the Weeks, was able to defend the ball.
Kimoa the serve. Overpassed a little bit, and into the net there was Hannah Hogue. That was close, kind of a joust at the net. Hogue just a little too far. We're tied at 22.
Yeah, and Weeks putting the ball a little too tight to the net, almost going over. Hannah Hogue did the same thing we saw earlier in the set. Tried to go for it, but it was a fair ball, almost going over. So that's why she was called for an illegal back row attack. You can see right here. See, she's going for the ball. She's on the back row, so that could be considered an attack, which by...
She's obviously got to go up and play that ball.
Absolutely.
And she's aware also that it will be a back row attack if you're contested up there at the net.
It's such a judgment call, so
yeah,
you, as a middle, you go for it. You have to kind of live by that. You got to be aggressive. You cannot not do it, so you have to just go, go, go. Hannah Hogue's way earlier in the set. It's that same play. The ball was just a little bit a little bit more on the side of the Sooners. You see it kind of going over that way.
Already have some action that's gone final in the SEC. The feature match today on ESPN and the SEC. Number 7 Texas with a 3-0 sweep of 18th ranked Florida. Texas has now won 6.
Clean as volleyball as you can. Can they get a side out here?
Kimoha right over the tape with that one. Set comes wide. Matkin drills that one, and it's long, setting up Oklahoma with a couple of set points now. Well, it was the early service errors for Oklahoma, and now the attack errors for Arkansas, Kelly.
Yeah, and Kimoha doing a really good job of just getting the ball in, right? But putting some pressure on Arkansas's serve receive.
Kimoha set point for Oklahoma. Jackson the good set. Thurman drills that one, and it's too good as it ricochets off of Wallace on the back row. And one set point eradicated by the Razorbacks.
Yeah, don't count Arkansas out. Again, they're experienced in their positions. You've got your middle and Zoe Evans. You've got Courtney Jackson as the libero. You've got Hannah Hogue.
Miscommunication by the Sooners, and a Razorbacks ace to tie it at 24. Must win the set by 2. Another serve here for Courtney Jackson. 24 apiece. This time taken by Oklahoma's Whitney Wallace. Shelton drills it, and what a dig by Jackson. Or Hogue, I should say, dug that one. Into the net, punched over by Shelton. What a save. Thurman rips that one off the block, and the Razorbacks have a set point.
Oh my, that was amazing. Courtney Jackson was so huge in that play. Did you see her just go after that ball? But that first ball down the line, that Alexis Shelton went down the line. Hannah Hogue, that was a beautiful dig. You mentioned it, Chad.
So Oklahoma had 2 set points. This is the first for the Razorbacks. Kimoha, the set. Shelton rips cross court, but there to dig it, Jackson. Now the swing by Hui. She's blocked, and that's down, and we're tied again.
Some really good volleyball, Chad. We knew this was going to happen today. We had a feeling it was going to be competitive, and we're seeing it right now in this first set.
Buckle up.
Absolutely.
Ellison to serve at 25 apiece. Waits for the crowd to quiet completely. Thurman, cross court, and another set point for the Razorbacks.
And that set was a little tight by Hannah Hogue to Thurman, but she just powered that ball through the block. Through the block.
Second set point for Arkansas. Avery Callum will take the swing from the service line. Chamberlain the set, and Martin ties it.
That all started with the pass from Jasmine Ellison for the Sooners. Delivered that perfect ball. And then if you do that, right, you pass well, you have all the options, and Peyton Chamberlain targeting Lydia Martin.
That is 5 opening set kills for Martin to lead the Sooners. In for the first time and serving is Sydney Thompson. Drops that one short. Big hit from the middle, punched up by Gibson there. She'll get a little touch at the net. Chamberlain goes to Martin in the middle, and what a dig on the back it was again by Jackson. That goes down on the Arkansas side. Sooners were in there though.
Courtney Jackson, who we mentioned it at the beginning of the match, we knew she was going to be a difference maker, and she is keeping the Razorbacks alive. She is working that side of the court. She carries a lot. She's taking a lot of court for Arkansas.
Third set point for the Razorbacks. A Thurman serve. Oklahoma in system to Martin. Tap short. And the Razorbacks take the opening set in extra points. 28-26 Arkansas.
What a set. Defense on both sides, but it really came down to the very end. And I think Courtney Jackson laying it out on the line did a phenomenal job for the Razorbacks.
If the opening set is any indication of what we're in store for, it's going to be a treat the rest of the way. 1-0. Again, in that opening set win. Ode with the set and tipped over the block and down. Very alert in midair that time for Anaya Madkin to see that and just find a landing spot.
And we talk about the difference in the first set being from the service line. Hannah Hogue right there on that serve made a huge difference. Put Sooners out of system and got the free ball.
And now Hogue back to do the serving. Finding Kimoha. Gibson touches the block. Jackson there to save it. What a good running set by Hogue that time. Chamberlain the dump to get the Sooners their first point. Middle was wide open and she saw it.
Yeah, and talk about experience. Peyton Chamberlain recognizing the opening. She went for it. She didn't have a setter dump in the first set. Just a simple opportunity to score a point.
Lydia Martin, the opening serve, and a good one, but what a save by Hogue up there. Sooners keep it alive. Martin will set Gibson this time, and it worked out. Way out of system, but a point nonetheless.
Yeah, and I think Courtney Jackson would have had it. She kind of just took our... She kind of just stopped to watch Courtney Jackson here. It was just miscommunication between her and Madkin. Who's going to get that ball? Right there.
Trust us, it was there. And there's the error that really plagued Oklahoma in the opening set. They had 5 service errors. So you lose in a set where you had set points and you had 5 service errors. Got to clean that up.
Well, it would be different if you had the aces, right? If you had the aces on the flip side, but to only have 1 ace, I believe, yeah, that's hard.
Jackson rips that serve long, so they exchange service errors. But for the Razorbacks, that's only their second, and they do have 2 aces.
Yes. But credit to Jasmine Ellison, just good court recognition. Seeing that ball. Chad, that ball's coming really fast.
Yeah. Now Chamberlain to serve it for the Sooners. Reigning Big 12 co-setter of the week. She had a season-high 52 assists in Oklahoma's win over Tennessee. And Burgess reaches back and hits that one wide.
And again, I'm going to credit Zoe Evans on the block. She was all over her. She showed KJ Burgess that she couldn't go cross court. She had to go to that wide angle and just kind of forced her out of bounds.
Rotation brings Avery Callum in to do the serving. Gibson played by Jackson there. Hogue sets Thurman this time. Sooners cleanly get a set, but the block on Geisberger. And there's Shelton soaring in to rip it down the seam.
And what about Alexis Shelton in the middle of the court running the big? That's a quick attack out of the back row. We've seen her hitting the D, which is from the right back, but targeting her right in the middle. That's a really hard ball to defend, Chad.
It is, and it's awfully fun to watch.
Yeah, it is.
So Whitney Wallace will serve. Almost miscommunication there. Geisberger blocked. Hogue with the set for Thurman, and she's blocked up there by Shelton and Burgess.
Sooners doing what they do so well, blocking at the net. It was a huge emphasis, Chad, in the spring and the offseason is blocking. We gotta make some changes. We have to be better in that component, and it's really shown this season, leading SEC, or they're second in the SEC in blocks per set.
Wallace with another Sooner service error. That is number 7 on the day. 5-4 Oklahoma. And the side out for the Razorbacks. We'll see Romani Thurman do the serve. Razorbacks won the opening set 28-26. Shelton takes in the serve. Geisberger tips it to the middle. Sliding in comes Hogue. Hui got blocked. Oklahoma, that triple block up there. Shelton will play this one to the back and in. So Alexis Shelton uses so much power. That time it was just vision to find that back spot.
Absolutely. And the Razorbacks just not moving their feet, go after that ball. But credit to Alexis Shelton. She hits it so deep on that line.
Hogue the slide set. And wide, but off the Sooner block. Sanaya Pettis gets it.
Good job by Pettis. It's a hard ball to defend. It's a really hard ball to block. Running the slide for Arkansas. Momentum is kind of shifting out of bounds. And so she was able to utilize the block for Oklahoma.
It's the second kill for Pettis today. Kimoha will have the set this time for Shelton. Into the block and out of bounds it goes. So Kimoha with the set and Shelton hanging with it to get the kill.
Yeah, that was such a beautiful out-of-system ball. And Callie Kimoha, the libero for the Sooners, putting that ball so high and really on the money for Alexis Shelton to do her thing.
Now back to serve is Jasmine Ellison. It's a nice save back there by Callum. Sooners block with Martin and Shelton. Ripping it through there is Anaya Madkin.
Good recognition by Madkin on the block. She saw the hole in the block and took the angle. We've seen her in that first set kind of going high off hands, right? Hitting at a high point, just utilizing the block. And in that one, she just went for it, saw the hole. Good decision.
Tied for the Razorbacks team lead with 5 kills is Madkin. This is Callie Weeks doing the serving long. It was the 3rd service error on the part of Arkansas today.
And that ball is moving fast.
So here's Alexis Shelton serving. Madkin blocked and off the antenna by the Sooners.
And there you see Madkin. So a little different hit than the one before. She went for it. She went for driving that ball just on into the court. That one, she saw the block, recognized it, that she had a double block, and she had to go high off hands.
Hannah Hope, her dad Gary played hoops for the Hogs. As Gibson fires down the line and wide. And we're tied at 8 in set number 2.
And that's credit to the block by Arkansas. Again, not touching it. It's okay. It's giving that look to the hitter. And they forced her down the line, out of bounds.
Hogue serves at 8-8. Kimoha takes the reception, and Shelton drills it right through that block.
And there's Alexis Shelton on the D ball, right? So we talked about that's on the right side. So you can see on the right side of the court, they call it the D. Such a hard ball to defend. She had, both blockers were up, but there was a huge.
Martin, good jump serve this time. What a job to chase it down by Hogue. Jackson plays it across. Here's Gibson cross court. Jackson was there. Razorbacks were in the net, though. Who did they get that time? Was it Thurman, maybe?
I think so. I think it was Thurman. But credit to Oklahoma. When you get a free ball, we call it a free ball because it's money. It needs to be. You need to take care of it, and you need to capitalize on getting that opportunity. And on the way down, looked like Thurman on the way down.
Just caught her hand in it. Evans tips it. Shelton. Gibson will get a crack. Evans got a piece of it. What a diving play that was. But across the net came Courtney Jackson. So we're going to have a replay if Oklahoma doesn't win this point. And Aaron Mansfield's got the green challenge flag out.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to ask Brad Aberg to look. It certainly looked like Courtney Jackson tumbled over the Oklahoma side under the net. Kelly.
But I think it's possible that it's going to be Madkin in the net. So Courtney Jackson did come underneath the net, but then also Madkin was, it looked like from my perspective, was in the net as well.
So we'll get the official announcement.
Original call was point for Arkansas. There was no net fault. Oklahoma is challenging there was a net fault.
All right, so we'll get another look. What's so interesting on these replays, they make the announcement to us, and then they make the announcement in the stadium. So we know a few seconds before the crowd does what the call is going to be. Let's look again.
Right. right there. I think it was her hand. She just kind of reaches out to kind of steady because her and Jack.
And from Arkansas committed a net fault. Oklahoma will get the point and retain their challenge.
So we get the announcement, and now you hear the Oklahoma crowd applaud as they are told in the arena.
There you go. And I think that's a perfect example of to challenge a call, right? It was pretty obvious. It was pretty obvious to Aaron Mansfield. He saw it right away, and he knew if they didn't win that point, he was going to use the challenge for sure.
And Oklahoma assistant coach Brian Thornton was right there by it. And to the officials' credit, you know, they have to continue to watch the action.
100%.
It's hard for them to see that. And there's an ace by Lydia Martin. By the way the challenges work, you get 2 to start the match. If you win the challenge, you retain it. And then if it goes to a 5th set, each coach would get an additional challenge. Yes, you could have 3 challenges in the final set.
In the 5th set, you can only take 2. You can only take 2 into that 5th, unfortunately. That'd be nice.
Thurman drills this one, but dug out back there. And the point to the Sooners.
What about Oklahoma capitalizing in these moments of just kind of stacking points on each other, getting a nice little run from Lydia Martin?
Oklahoma opening up a 5-point lead, trying to even this match at 1 set apiece. Timeout taken by Arkansas.
Some people just first beef hundreds on calls.
You see, and they were 13 all in the 5th set in the 2 losses, the one to Florida and one to Kentucky. And the upset of Tennessee a week ago today right here, Kelly, at McCaslin Fieldhouse.
And I think that's a good point. It wasn't that in that 5th set they just got killed. They lost 15-13 in both those matches.
Huge rip by Madkin. And that stops Oklahoma's 5-0 run. And Madkin having a good match. 7 kills for her today.
Yeah, I mean, and we talked about it at the beginning of the match. She's such a huge component to the offense for the Razorbacks.
Chamberlain the set for Gibson this time. Jackson digs it out. Hope with the set for Thurman, and she's blocked. It is Gibson and Burgess for the Sooners.
Wow, what a block for the Sooners. Camille Gibson just pressing over. Let's get another look at it. Great dig by Jackson for Arkansas, but Camille Gibson stays on her. That's her hitter.
Camille Gibson transferred from Tennessee. She was able to be here for the spring for Oklahoma and battled kind of an ab strain early this season, but when she's healthy, she is awfully good. Chamberlain comes in to save that for the Sooners. There's Gibson to the back. Was there a touch? There was not. It is long.
Looks like we're going to get a challenge, but Camille Gibson, did you see, Chad, how fast her arm swing was? Just go. She was going for it, right? She was going high off hands. And that's that out-of-system ball. When we talk about out-of-system.
Original call was point for Arkansas. The attack was out with no touch. Oklahoma is challenging it, touch the block before going out of bounds.
When we talk about out-of-system, that means the ball is really going to, it's more predictable, going to probably one option, usually your outside hitter situation. So it gives the other team an opportunity to set up a block, as you can see right there. And I guess the question, Thurman? It's kind of going Oklahoma, and this out-of-system ball that I was talking about, Chad, they run it all the time. So it's for Arkansas, they know where the ball is going. They've been scouting Oklahoma. They know where that ball is going, but can you put up a big enough block? But credit to Camille Gibson, that fast arm swing came through.
Peyton Chamberlain serving. Line drive serve right to Weeks. Big Sooner block up front with Burgess and Gibson this time. Kimoha soars in to save it. Leaping set that time by Chamberlain for Gibson to kill another one. And Gibson leads Oklahoma now with 9 kills this afternoon.
Wow, and honestly, that ball from Peyton Chamberlain to Camille Gibson was so tight. That was almost going over the net. So credit to Camille Gibson to doing something with that ball. That was a tough ball.
It's next level, honestly, when you watch Gibson. She gets so high.
Yeah.
She has so many things available to her. Look at Kimoha with a great dig that time. Here's Gibson rolling it to the back. Hogue the set. And the block up front on Evans's swing. But the Sooners were in the net that time.
Yeah, it looks like it. And that's huge for Arkansas, honestly. They haven't been able to put the ball away in the past, in this set so far, really offensively. So they need to kind of start. They need to get the ball, work on defense right here, get a couple stops, but also offensively, they need to score points.
Avery Callum with the serve. Geisberger is blocked, but it's out of bounds as it goes off of either Pettis or Thurman.
Yeah, and I think that went off of Thurman's hands. But credit to Kari Geisberger, just using it, swiping it out of bounds.
Oklahoma has won 9 of the last 11 points. And they have a 7-point lead, trying to even this match at 1 set apiece. And an ace that time. Well, we saw a good service run by Whitney Wallace in the first set. She comes through with another ace.
Wow, and that ball targeting Hui, the outside hitter. She's on the front right now. She's got to drop back and take the ball.
That is 2 aces for Wallace today. She hits another one. That one skims the tape. Chamberlain able to punch that back over for the Sooners. Hogue with the set, tip to the back, but it's right to Wallace. Geisberger drills one home. Sooners in control in set 2.
And we really haven't seen Peyton Chamberlain targeting Kari Geisberger on the right side of the court. Watch right here. Look at the difference in the block. It's so hard. Peyton Chamberlain runs that ball out to the pin so fast. It's so, Coach Watson told us it's going to be really difficult for us today to block, right? To really slow down the offense. And you can see right there, that's a prime example.
There's Kari Geisberger. We mentioned her transferring from Loyola Marymount. She spent 3 years there and then transferred into Oklahoma before this year, and really been a help to the culture as well of Aaron Mansfield, which is very player driven, but she has fit right in with her former coaches as they were at Loyola Marymount.
And the difference between this year and last year, I think there's just offensively, Oklahoma has a lot more weapons available. So if a player on one given night isn't doing well, other players are stepping up. So we saw against Kentucky, Kari Geisberger didn't have her best offensive night. She had 3.5 blocks for the Sooners. But what about the other components? The other players had a phenomenal night. Alexis Shelton played huge against Kentucky. So it's always taking that opportunity. Who else around? On the back row, that's a lot. There's a lot of skills involved. It frees her up to focus on those other things, not putting a lot of pressure on herself to have to score every single time.
So the service run continues here for Wallace. Jackson takes it in. Hogue the set in system for Thurman and down. Much needed side out. And now the Razorbacks have got to have one of those service runs from somewhere.
Absolutely. It's got to come now. You've got to go on a point run right now.
Lo Jones, the redshirt freshman from Carl Junction, Missouri, was at Arkansas last year, didn't play. Sat and watched that Elite 8 run that Jason Watson and the Razorbacks had. Shelton, service received. Geisberger, and out of bounds. Thought maybe that went off the block, but it did not.
I thought so too. Credit to Alexis Shelton, honestly, on that pass. It was beautiful. And then Peyton Chamberlain, that fast offense. Let's look at it again. Just, she sees the lines open, but yeah, I think that was a great call.
Because of the English on that ball. Right in the middle is Kelly Jo Burgess. And the Sooners get a side out right back.
You know, KJ Burgess, she doesn't get a lot of opportunities offensively, but what she does so well is when she gets the opportunity, she puts the ball away.
To your point, she was 11 for 11 attacking in a match against Texas A&M Corpus Christi earlier this year.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Drilled to the back, and a good save by Wallace off the swing by Hui. And Martin tips that one into the net. Side out Razorbacks.
Yeah, really good up by Wallace. Just a little tight. Peyton Chamberlain, she's on the back row, so she's having to come from the back row to get that ball. So when it's tight, it's a little difficult when your setter's on the back row.
Olivia Hui to serve it for Arkansas. 7-point lead for Oklahoma. Arkansas won the first set 28-26. Shelton right down the middle.
And just another day on the job for Alexis Shelton, doing her thing at the net. She's such a dynamic hitter, Chad. gets off the net, transitions really well.
6 kills for Shelton. Only hitting .095. But she has 6 digs, 2 blocks as well for Shelton.
Yeah, what else is she doing for the Sooners? And you said it, and she's passing really well.
Served by Ellison. Good jump serve there. Overpassed. Martin alertly was able to get there for the Sooners. Now Hogue. And from the back, Callum gets the kill for the Razorbacks.
Let's go. Avery Callum coming in. She's an outside hitter, but in her role right now, she's a DS. But let's utilize that on the back row if you're able to. Sooners weren't really expecting that.
Hogue realizing, hey, I've got an outside hitter in the back now, right?
Absolutely.
This one taken in by Wallace. Chamberlain the set. Martin strikes that one short into the net.
So that's a prime example, again, of the quick offense that they run. So you can't make it. The set isn't just spot on. You can't make a lot of adjustments last second because it's so fast. And that's just an example of that.
It's got to be on time and on the spot.
Yep.
In system. Shelton just thumps that one down. No chance.
And then again, it's the same thing. It's that fast offense that Peyton Chamberlain. That ball is delivered to the pin so fast. And you kind of, it's one of those things, and that's why not a lot of teams run fast offenses, because it can be high error if you don't have the right personnel to do it. Sooners have the personnel that are able to do it, but at times you're going to have some hitting errors.
Sydney Thompson serves. Matkin takes this one, and she gets the swing and drills it in just inside the line.
Wow. That was a huge swing for Matkin and the Razorbacks. That ball was way off the net. That's talk about out of system. And she just drilled that ball deep angle. Watch it again. Look, she's at the 3-meter line. Look at all that court that Callie Kamoa has to cover on that triple block. And that is against a triple block.
Gibson receives the serve from Hui. Gibson smokes that one. Her 10th kill. She's the first player in the match to reach double figures.
Just a huge swing for the Sooners and Camille Gibson in this set.
We see Ireland McNeese on to do the serving for the first time today for the Sooners. Oklahoma 2 points away from evening this match at a set apiece. McNeese saves that one off the swing by Matkin. Really passed across. Gibson tips over the block and down, and it's set point Sooners.
What about that hang time by Camille Gibson? She's up in the air. Her timing was off, but she was able to hang, and then she uses the block.
So Gibson now has 8 kills in this set. Set point number 1. McNeese serves it long. Razorbacks have to have a run here. Still set point for the Sooners. Remember, Oklahoma had 2 set points in the opening set. Arkansas had 3 set points before the Razorbacks cashed in. And now still set point Oklahoma on the serve of Arkansas is Courtney Jackson. In system, and Gibson, that is appropriate.
Yeah.
She dominated that set for Oklahoma.
Absolutely, and then credit to Peyton Chamberlain. And the Sooner serve receive, just passing the ball perfectly in that set, allowed the offense to do its work.
And Oklahoma only 2 service errors in that set, giving themselves more opportunities. They comfortably win to even this one at 1 set apiece. Set number 3 comes your way next on SEC Network. 2 as Oklahoma evens it at 1 set apiece. Welcome back to McCaslin Fieldhouse in Norman with Kelly Files. I'm Chad McKee. Arkansas won the opening set 28-26. Oklahoma won set number 2 25-17. And a lot of that on the strength of Camille Gibson. You look at these numbers through 2 sets, though, Oklahoma more kills. They cleaned things up on the service line, and that gave them a better chance.
Yeah, absolutely. More chances to play and to put up huge numbers offensively. That was a huge difference in the second set. 19 kills in the second set alone, hitting over 400 for the Sooners compared to 9 kills for Arkansas. So that was a major difference.
And Oklahoma, after 6 service errors in the first set, they had only 3 in the second set, and they added 2 aces to help out with that. And one of the big reasons right there, 9 kills in the second set for Camille Gibson. She's got 12 already through 2 sets today.
And she's kind of feeling that shoulder.
Needs some ice, doesn't she?
No doubt about it. 12 kills for the match so far in 2 sets.
She's like, this right shoulder's hot. I better cool it off a little bit.
Absolutely. Look at that out-of-system ball. She's in the court. Again, just recognizing her arm swing is so fast. But also, if she needs to, she has the tip, she has the roll shot, but then she also puts up a huge block.
You could just hear the sound when her hand hit that ball, the thump. Razorbacks get the first look here. Madkin, a good save by Kimoa. Geisberger cross court, and it is wide. First point goes to the Razorbacks. Okay, so if you're Arkansas, had that very good opening set, what adjustments, what tweaks might you make if you are Jason Watson here in the third set?
I think you have to be really aggressive offensively. You have to find a way to score points. Not even hitters, even Hannah Hogue at the setter dump. Find ways to score points. That's going to be huge.
Callie Weeks, the serve. Chamberlain for Martin. What a get there by Thurman. Chamberlain again for Martin, this time too good. And Thurman said, all right, you got me this time.
I mean, it's really hard to defend Lydia Martin. Again, if it's in system, which it was, so fast.
A time with the United States collegiate team training out in Anaheim this summer for Lydia Martin was confirmation that she has what it takes to play at a super high level. Madkin. And looked like Martin got a piece of it, but Madkin hit it through. Continues to have a good day. That's her 9th kill to lead the Razorbacks.
What about that pass by Kylie Weeks? Just nice and steady with her platform, allowing Hannah Hogue to be in system with Madkin. And then Madkin, credit to her for recognizing the block off the net.
Hogue puts it into the air. Shelton way up high. That was punched up by Evans to kind of save it. And there's Madkin down on the Sooner side. So they continue to feed Anaya Madkin, who's into double-figure kills now.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Arkansas needs to do. They've got to string points offensively. They need to score points from the hitters.
Kimoa takes it for the Sooners. There's Shelton to the back and mishit it just a little bit long. And the Razorbacks have a 4-1 lead.
Timing off for Alexis Shelton. Just a little reset here for the Sooners.
Hannah Hogue back there to serve it. Led the SEC in assists last year, was 2nd in the country. And there's Martin as Oklahoma feeds the middle. And Lydia Martin gets the side out.
All started with the pass by Jasmine Ellison, putting that ball right on the money for Peyton Chamberlain. But Lydia Martin, I think the set was even a little low. But credit to Martin recognizing it and just keeping her. She didn't swing all the way through.
And Shelton with the service error short. 5-2 Razorbacks in the side out for Arkansas. Courtney Jackson back to serve it. The senior libero who has been a starter since 2021 when she made the All-SEC freshman team. Martin, timing was a little off, but it won't matter. They just continue to send it right there to Lydia Martin.
Yeah, absolutely, but great hustle by Arkansas. That's what you need to do. Another point, Chad, Olivia Hui coming on the court for Arkansas. They need her to put up some numbers. So look for Hannah Hogue to get her going from the outside spot.
Martin, a little off. She was almost on the ground when she made contact with that ball. And an Oklahoma service error. 6-3 Arkansas. And here comes Avery Callum to serve. That now 10 serving errors for Oklahoma. 2 already in this set. Gibson blocked. It was Thurman and Pettis that time.
Yeah, and that's an out-of-system ball, so good recognition by Arkansas that that ball's going to Gibson. Pettis makes her move right over to put up a double block.
Time Hellison elected to take that ball. Looked like it might have gone long. Thurman into the block, and just wide. Point Razorbacks.
Callum, so huge for the Razorbacks in that play. From the service line, really good serve. And then also defensively, got a dig in that play. Then she had a good coverage, calling that ball out of bounds.
Callum with the serve. Shelton comes soaring in. Razorbacks get a tip on that. Hui was up there. She'll get a swing. And Kimowa for Oklahoma. There's Gibson and down.
There's that out-of-system ball that the Sooners love. That's in high and inside, and it's tight to the net, Chad. It's a really hard ball to hit. Opportunity to get blocked is so huge. But what Camille Gibson does is that she hits so quick. Her arm swing is so fast. You can see right here.
Kills for Gibson, really tight set that time, and played across by Hui. Here comes Shelton, and she was a little over the line that time, I believe.
Yep. She stepped right on that 3-meter line.
We'll get another look at it coming from the back row. Have to be behind that 3-meter line.
Have to be behind it. You can't step on it. You got to be behind it. Get another look at it right here. Let's check it out. Yep, you can see she steps on it with her left foot.
Man, that's hard to see as a referee. 9-4 Razorbacks. Callum able to save it on the back row. Hui punches it across. Geisberger drills that one and somehow saved. What an up first by Hogue, then Jackson. Gibson strikes that one, and it's long and wide. What defense by the Razorbacks. Timeout, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, phenomenal. Here's the replay, and I want to recognize getting that over, but in the... Right, that's gone. Right, the crowd's like calling for the double. It doesn't matter anymore. She doubled that ball for sure.
Oklahoma takes a timeout. Razorbacks roaring out of the gate, trying to take a 2-1 lead.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on...
More great defending by Callie Kimowa today. 1,438 digs. She has passed Melissa Peterson for second in Oklahoma history. What a career she's had. Only 800 away from Maria Fernanda, who's at the top of Oklahoma's all-time list, Kelly.
Yeah, she's been so phenomenal for the Sooners. And this season alone, she's just playing more free. Coach told us, started in the spring and just saying, hey, go dig a ball. That's it. That's all I'm going to tell you to do. Just, you've got the court, you got the vision, and just go and get it. And she was huge in that win over Tennessee. She got the last dig to give the ball to Alexis Shelton for the win against a ranked opponent.
And Erin Mansfield said it's a ball that last year she might not have even gone for. Not playing as freely last year.
Absolutely. It was in the stands almost, Chad. It was so huge.
He said, hey, you're in a safe space. Just go after it.
Just go play ball. And you can really see that. She's had a phenomenal career for the Sooners.
Olivia Hui giving the Razorbacks more breathing room as they try to go up 2-1. Here's Shelton. Matkin got a decent swing on it. Chamberlain sets Geisberger, and the hit is short into the net. And 12-5, Arkansas now.
What a heads-up play by Sonia Pettis. The ball's coming close to the net. Hannah Hogue not able to get there, and she was able to step in and set that ball.
So here's Hui toeing the service line again. Oklahoma 39-25 in kills. That's an ace for Hui.
And in volleyball, as a coach, right, you talk about if you're not performing in one area of your game, there's more opportunities to create points or to provide to your team. And I think Hui's doing it right now, at least from the service line. And in this set, she's really kind of picking up her game. That's going to be a big deal for Arkansas. Nearly
an ace there, but Kimowa able to save it. Shelton rolls it across. Hui there, tight set there. Nearly an overpass. Sooners got Geisberger a touch. Here's Matkin. Sooners block it. Matkin again. Oklahoma gets a touch as Kimowa flies in, and Chamberlain can't quite reach it. How about Matkin? I mean, up, like a pogo stick.
Absolutely, and you can see the tempos of the sets, Chad. They were so totally different. So the in-system ball, a little bit quicker, a little bit lower, and then the out-of-system. So as an outside hitter, there's a lot of adjustment on the fly, and she did a phenomenal job in that play.
Back in 11 kills to lead the way for the Razorbacks, who have opened up a 9-point lead. Geisberger can't end it. It's blocked and down, and Pettis was in the middle of that one.
And those are back-to-back errors by Geisberger, so credit to Arkansas in the block, forcing her to make an error. Let's take a look at it again. Look at Pettis. She just goes over really fast, throws her hands over to close the block.
Huey's service has been a big part of it. Shelton blocked that time as Pettis got there, along with Hogue. Reaching way back, Pettis was dug out by Wallace. And finally, the Sooners get their side out after 5 straight. Alexis Shelton has the answer.
Absolutely, and credit to Peyton Chamberlain. Recognizing that size differential between Hannah Hogue and Alexis Shelton, right? A little bit more difficult for Hannah Hogue to block Alexis Shelton, and just delivers that ball over so fast. Pettis couldn't get over there quick enough. Peyton Chamberlain, recognizing that size differential between Hannah Hogue and Alexis Shelton, right? A little bit more difficult for Hannah Hogue to block Alexis Shelton, and just delivers that ball over so fast. Pettis couldn't get over there quick enough.
Now, Allie Kimoa back there to start it. Big block by Shelton as she rises in front of Pettis.
And this is one area that Alexis Shelton has excelled on in the offseason, is the blocking. She came up huge against Kentucky on Wednesday. She put up 2 solo blocks in the 5th set alone to really kind of put themselves in contention to win that match.
Nice dig there by Madkin. She'll roll this one across. Geisberger. And there is Callum for the Razorbacks. Madkin tipping over the top. Just a feathery touch to get that one down.
And with this new role of the setters, right, getting rid of the double, it allows the game to keep playing, because there was another opportunity, I think, in last year, Hannah Hogue would have gotten called for a double again on that ball, but it doesn't matter. The ball we keep playing, right? You keep going, because it is also a very judgmental call by the referee.
Shelton, the Razorbacks get a touch. Good job there by Hogue and Evans. That to the back. Was there an Oklahoma touch? Yes, there was. So they continue to ride Madkin, and she's coming through. 13 kills.
And it's just like I talked about with Gibson, right? That fast arm swing on that out-of-system ball. It's so high, and then just ripping it and just getting the top of the block for the Sooners.
10-point lead is the largest for either team today, and there's Shelton coming through with the critical Oklahoma side out.
And then again, just the size differential between Hannah Hogue utilizing it, and Chamberlain doing a really good job of pushing that ball all the way to the antenna, right? Putting Hogue in a position to block, or Alexis Shelton to give her a little bit more net.
Here is Jasmine Ellison. Jackson there for the Razorbacks, hitting into the Sooner block is Evans, and she just kind of powered right through it.
Yeah, Zoe Evans, and Coach Watson told us about the middles. They do a really good job of taking care of their game, and they do. We've seen it live. Not making a lot of errors. When you get the opportunity, what are you going to do with it? You're going to put the ball away. That's her 4th kill, hitting 500 for Zoe Evans.
Big, fast set in the middle for Martin.
Lydia Martin, 9 kills, hitting over 300 in this match. She's been really phenomenal for the Sooners in conference play.
She is hitting 400 today. Madkin is hitting 400 for Arkansas. And here's Thompson back in to serve it. Hogue with the set for Thurman this time. Oklahoma blocks it. And Gibson will get it over. Madkin got a touch. And now Madkin plays it over. Martin blocked.
What about Madkin, though? She read it really well, and I think she honestly thought she got the block.
I did too.
Let's look at it
Went
again.
off her head.
It went on their side of the net.
It did. It went off her head,
yeah,
and down on the Arkansas
but
side.
She read that perfectly, up and ready in that fast tempo. She was just a little off the net.
Madkin this time to the back. Quite a dig back there by Ellison to keep it alive.
And you can see Romani Thurman saying, that's my bad. That was an opportunity that she needed to take care of. She basically just gave the Sooners a free ball. And then no doubt Lydia Martin says, thank you very much.
What a play back there, and really had no choice. Ellison, it came right at her, and she kept it alive. Weeks able to dig that one out. Thurman gets a swing. Imoha will set this time, and Gibson with another Oklahoma point. So that's 4 points in a row for Oklahoma. They're back within 6.
And what about Sydney Thompson coming off of the bench for the Sooners to get them going on this run from the service line? That's a really hard job.
Feeding the middle, and Evans. Thompson making a difference there. Gibson a big swing, and Martin finishes it. Sooners starting to pick up momentum now.
And then Sydney Thompson again from the service line, and then she got a dig in that play. And then, of course, Lydia Martin with the overpass. We talked about it earlier. As a middle, that's your job. You've got to take care of the net. You've got to recognize the overpasses if the ball's tight to the net, etc. And you're vocalizing it to your teammates at the net.
Well, it's 5 straight points won by Oklahoma, and Jason Watson takes a timeout over on the Arkansas side. 18-13. Razorbacks lead. They won the opening set 28-26. Oklahoma ran away with set number 2, 25-17. Just big momentum runs, really, that we've had so far in this match today.
Yeah, and that's volleyball. That's the sport of volleyball. Shifts in momentum can happen at any moment, so you have to keep working as a team, right? Right now, it's going Oklahoma's way. They're kind of taking that momentum. They're trying to steal it from Arkansas. So the message here to Arkansas is, hey, we got to take care of it. We got to keep playing our game. We got to play good defense. Defense kind of creates that momentum. You saw in the last play by Sydney Thompson, keeping that ball alive, allowing that overpass, forcing the ball back over the net.
Well, the Razorbacks got out to that really large lead here in that set. They led by 10 points. 15-5 was the advantage. But Oklahoma has steadied things, and as Kelly has alluded to, a lot of it's been on the serve of Sydney Thompson, the junior from Tulsa Booker T. Washington High School.
And we haven't seen her at all, right, in the match. So coming in this third set, coming off the bench, and being able to string these points from the service line.
This goes for Thurman, and off the Sooner dig attempt by Ellison. Thurman comes through. Razorbacks get the side out.
Yeah, and then credit to the Kylie Weeks passing for the Razorbacks. Just a nice, easy ball. Allow Hannah Hogue to do her thing. And then Romani Thurman up and ready.
Now Courtney Jackson back to serve it. Gibson gets a swing. That one goes off the hands of Weeks and up into the horn section. And what a day for Camille Gibson.
Yeah.
17 kills for her now.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of them, a lot of them are coming out of system balls. And the Sooners, I think, really struggled with that last season. It was new to them, the concept, but you can really see just the year that they've had. The off season was so huge for the Sooners. And then Camille Gibson, what a huge get for the Sooners out of the transfer portal.
Here's Thurman ripping away. Was there a touch? Nope, there was no touch. It is simply wide. A rare attack error there by Romani Thurman.
Man, when she connects, that's a hard ball to defend. But credit to the Sooner block.
You got to be brave just to get in front of that thing.
Absolutely.
So McNeese with another serve. Hogue sets Thurman again, right back to her. And what a dig there by Shelton. Gibson touches it across the net. This time Hogue back to Thurman, and down it goes.
What about Hannah Hogue keeping Romani Thurman involved? She got 3 attempts in that play alone.
26 assists now for Hogue.
Look at the transition by Thurman, getting off the net quick. And you can see Camille Gibson kind of drifting. It gives a lot more room for Thurman. Some holes in the block.
Callum offers up the serve. In system ball, Gibson cross court, dug out by Jackson. Huey to the back, and Ellison there for the Sooners. There's Gibson tipping into the block and kind of craftily just tools that off the hands of the blocker.
Yeah, and Thurman had it in her hand, I think, and so she went down to kind of throw it down, but she threw it out of bounds.
Oklahoma wants 10 points down in this set, now just 4 down. As Peyton Chamberlain steps to the service line. Right to Jackson, to Hogue. In system. Sooners try to kick it at the end. To no avail. That's a perfect in-system ball, and Pettis able to get the kill from the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, senior middle blocker and Sonia Pettis, Zoe Evans, seasoned players.
Lo Jones will serve. Redshirt freshman, didn't play a season ago. Geisberger whips that one in.
Peyton Chamberlain targeting Geisberger when she's left front in that rotation, giving her the ball. Again, look at the size difference between her and Hannah Hogue. But also Alexis Shelton passed that ball and just received.
Hui right over the Sooner block, and down it goes.
And Hui offensively just a little quiet in this match. But that's a huge huge kill and a side out for the Razorbacks.
Third kill for Hui today. Finding ways to contribute. She's got 5 digs, though, and she's been good back here on the service line.
Absolutely. She had 12 kills against Ole Miss last Sunday.
Overpass and slam down. Pettis took advantage of that free ball.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, Pettis as the middle, recognizing that overpass and just taking it and doing something with it. You've got to put that ball away.
Razorbacks 2 points away from a 2-1 advantage. Hui serving Shelton. Right back to Shelton. And there's Hui on the dig. Tapped over by Madkin. Shelton got blocked. This time right back to Shelton. Tipping into the block. And punched up by Pettis. Geisberger off balance. And it goes off the Razorbacks and wide.
And you can see the timing was off for Geisberger on that ball. She was already up, coming down, and she just, with her 6'7" frame, was able to kind of keep that ball up high and just use Madkin going off her hands.
Jason Watson over to ask a question of Brad Aberg, our down referee. Just a quick little conversation, nothing of it. Madkin off the Sooner block. I think that went off Martin's head.
Yeah.
Right back to Madkin. Martin just out of system. Kimoa got it back somehow. Martin can't extinguish the rally. Good dig there by Peyton Chamberlain. And finally down from Shelton. Lots of things happened in that rally.
Yeah, and a lot of net play on both sides. I thought Pettis did a phenomenal job of taking care of the ball on those overpasses and just communicating. But then Alexis Shelton right there, and Lydia Martin doing a good job.
Kimoa serving, targeting Callum. Madkin blocked by Martin and Geisberger.
I mean, when Martin and Geisberger, when they put up a block and they are together and up and ready, it is a hard block to go up against.
Oklahoma once down 10, now within 3. But there's the error that has hurt Oklahoma from time to time, and it's a set point for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, and you talk about the error, we're also talking about in crunch time to give the set point to Arkansas.
Set point for a 2-1 lead. And back to the line goes Kylie Weeks. Shelton, tough time handling that one. Shelton just runs up there and tips it across for Oklahoma. Madkin to the back, long, and no touch. Point Oklahoma.
And Madkin, again, keen on the Sooners' high block, those high hands, and just missing it.
Razorbacks would have 4 set points if they needed them. This is number 2. And to serve it for the Sooners is Ellison. In system, Madkin the tip and down, and the Razorbacks take a 2-1 lead.
What about that pass by Courtney Jackson? But then no doubt, Madkin getting her 14th kill of the match, hitting over 200. She was so huge for Arkansas. They had to score more points offensively, and sure enough, they were able to put some points on the board to win that third set.
Back and forth match. Razorbacks will try to close it out as we move on to set number 4 at McCaslin Fieldhouse in Norman. Pettis was in the middle of that, along with Madkin. Here's Madkin. Kimoha there for the Sooners. Shelton tries to tip it down the line, but Thurman's there. Chamberlain for Shelton, tipping over the block. Hui got that one, and the big rip by Madkin right on cue.
Okay, can we talk about this play, Chad? Okay, first of all, Arkansas elects to have Madkin starting left front. More opportunities for her as they rotate throughout the set. More opportunities for her to be front row. Olivia Hui went on a huge run in that third set from the back row, starting from the service line, and then those huge digs that she just had. She had 2 digs in that rally, and then Madkin putting that ball away.
It's really riding the hot hands on the service line and at the net, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a smart decision. You want to put your best hitter starting left front. More opportunities to put them in a good spot to score for your team.
And Hui back there. Razorbacks win the first 2 points of the 4th set. Here's Shelton. Thurman kept it alive and tipped into the middle, not quite pancaking it. Kimoha.
And again, that call last year on Thurman would have been a double, right? That contact that she had with her hands, you can see right there, that's a double for sure. But we want to keep the speed of the game going. Let the play keep going.
And when you say double, both hands contacted that ball, it appeared, or you, at the same time, both hands touch.
Correct. Well, but it's also the release. When you touch it, what does it look like? And your hands as a setter, you want them to go at the same time, and the release at the same time. And when you have a fast-moving ball, it's hard to do that. That's why the setting position is so huge and artful, because it's such a beautiful skill. That part is still there, and I think you can see both sides of it from the setter point of view. It's a very artful thing, right, of how they deliver the ball. That's kind of gone out the door. Still there. We can still appreciate good setting. But the problem is that it was such a judgment call. And so sometimes you didn't see referees, they would try to call it evenly on both sides. And so it was a lot of, at times, the play is just stopping.
Yeah.
And instead of allowing the play to unfold, allow the athletes to continue to play.
And you would see a point go and go and go, and then they go back and review and say that was a double.
Yeah. So I think it's been good. We can still appreciate the setters and what they're doing for sure.
Here's Gibson. Razorbacks got a touch on that one as it sails out of bounds. And Gibson with her 19th kill of this match to lead everyone. She's hitting at a 350 clip.
And honestly, I thought Arkansas did a good job of kind of slowing. You can see on the block of slowing down the ball, but it just went too far out of bounds.
How about Peyton Chamberlain? That's 41 assists, and we're only at the beginning of the 4th set.
She's been playing phenomenal for the Sooners.
Now, her career high is 57 assists as Peyton Chamberlain. If this goes 5, she'll have 60 assists.
Yeah, absolutely, easily.
Martin, and the service error. Really, Kelly, if you look at the grand scheme of this, so here's the service numbers. Arkansas is at 3 aces and 3 errors. That's even. Oklahoma is at 3 aces and 12 errors. That's a -9.
And honestly, when you look at the stats, I mean, Oklahoma's leading in almost every category except the service line. And I think it's made a huge difference because it's happening in key moments. I mean, you look at that and it's 12 points. Think about 12 points you're getting. Now, obviously, you need to serve aggressive. You got to serve aggressive, so you're going to have some errors. But then you look at Arkansas. You mentioned it, 3 for 3. That's what you're looking for, that ratio.
So after Gibson's 20th kill, Chamberlain serves for Oklahoma. Swatted by Evans in the middle. And Oklahoma, great job just to save that one. It's time it's Jackson with the set, and there's Madkin again. Her 18th kill of the match.
Wow. Good job by Arkansas running that ball down. I don't think Kalikimahot meant to send that ball over the net. But look at Madkin on a triple block, Chad. That she just saw that hole in between Gibson and Burgess.
Geisberger just got that one across. Jackson punches it over. Chamberlain with the set. And there's Burgess, who's had a relatively quiet day.
Quiet day, but when she has the opportunity, Chad, what do you do with that opportunity? And she takes full advantage of it.
So 6'5" Razorbacks. KJ Burgess, that is her 5th kill of the afternoon. And here's Whitney Wallace. She's had a couple of service runs. In fact, she has 2 of Oklahoma's 3 aces from the service line. Well played back there by Weeks to get a shot for Thurman. And there's Wallace getting it back over. Hui, and Oklahoma gets a touch. Geisberger cross court to tie it at 6-6.
So far in this match, Chad, it looks like Chamberlain and Geisberger, their timing's just a little off, their connection's a little off. But in that moment, look at Geisberger. You just keep working through it and keep making corrections, making adjustments. And I thought Geisberger did a really good job on that ball.
Wallace targets Hui with the serve. And now Hui gets a swing the other way. Chamberlain on a tight set. Right back to Geisberger. Couldn't drop it over, but it finally works out. And Geisberger used a little finesse that time.
And it was kind of a nice idea for Hui to she saw the tip. She was already up on the block and kind of just try to send it up high, trying to keep that ball alive as much as she can.
All right, Geisberger today, 8 kills. She's added 1 block. Here's Wallace. She's been the best Sooner back on the service line today. Hui is blocked there by Burgess and Geisberger. Here's Thurman. Blocked. Shelton way up into the air. And Burgess was there as well.
Absolutely. The Sooner block. I mean, we can't say enough about the adjustments that they've made in the off season. But look at Burgess. She's a little late, but you still go as a middle. You still go. You throw up your hands. Hope for the best.
Hogue with the set for Thurman, tipping over the block. Beautifully done.
I mean, that was a perfect tip by Thurman. That ball is super hard to defend. Let's take another look at it. It's right over the block, right over Shelton. You know, Geisberger or Kalikimahot, who's playing that ball.
That stopped the 4-0 Oklahoma run. Hui trying to take care of it. Shelton couldn't have placed it any better on the back row. Well, Hui had a chance to finish it, and when she didn't, Shelton sees the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely, on that overpass. Just dialed in that back.
For Shelton today. Here's Thurman. Sooners got a piece of that one, but it's wide, and Thurman adds another kill. That's 11 for her today.
She's been phenomenal. We knew Madkin and Thurman were going to be key for Arkansas.
And now Thurman back to the service line. Geisberger with an Oklahoma answer.
And you can see Peyton Chamberlain trying to get Geisberger going offensively. I think in this set alone, done a really good job. That's her 9th kill of the night, of the afternoon, sorry. Hitting over 200.
We've been here a while. It almost feels like
right?
night has fallen. Here's Jasmine Ellison. Almost miscommunication there, but Hui gets a swing. Sooners block it, saved by Thurman. Hui again off the block of Shelton and Martin this time.
Again, we're talking about the Sooner block. Just getting dialed in. Let's take a look at it again. The triple block. Good coverage by Thurman. You go up against that triple block again.
So the triple block, why does Oklahoma do it and why don't more teams?
Well, A, it's difficult. The outside hitter has to come all the way over And then also, on the flip side of that, it leaves a lot of court unanswered, a lot of open space. So you have to have a really good libero. Sooners do in Callie Kamoa, letting her take up all that court. It's difficult. And then the transition part of it. So if you get the dig, then Alexa Shelton, she has to get out as fast as she can to be an option offensively.
Overpass, Martin can't quite finish it. Callum kept it alive. Kimoha gets it across. Now Hogue with the set for Pettis. For Oklahoma, Wallace got it. Shelton to the back and long. Point Razorbacks.
That timing a little off for Alexa Shelton. She was on her way down when she made contact with that ball. So you see, Arkansas has already made that full rotation, all 6 rotations. So Matkin back in left front. Hui serving.
Targeting Wallace, setting Martin, and she drops down another.
Lydia Martin. She drives the ball. Good recognition on the block. She saw that she was up against a double block. Just a nice, easy tip to position 4, which is in left front.
Hogue with the set this time, and maybe a little miscommunication on the back, but it's a kill for Madkin.
Yeah, you'll take it, no doubt about it. Take another look at it. So that set was inside too. Madkin doing a really good job getting her last 2 steps into the court, to the ball with her approach.
19 kills for Madkin. And an ace from back there on the line by Kylie Weeks.
And we talk about, right, we've been talking about the service difference in the 2 teams. And then Arkansas getting another ace.
Yeah, that's a positive ace to to error ratio. 4 aces, 3 errors for Arkansas. Oklahoma's at 3 aces, but 12 errors. And there's the error. Okay, we'll quit talking about it. But what is a reasonable ratio? Well, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it other than say, look, just try to get the ball over.
Yeah, and every coach has their own different philosophy of what the ratio to error. You know, I'm more in the camp of 1-to-1. Right, I want my services to play aggressive, but I also want that ball give my team opportunity to play defense.
Net violation against Burgess. It was going to be a kill for Madkin anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Burgess is getting the net on her way up. That swing block, sometimes when your hands, you're coming down with a lot of moving parts. And again, you have to be aware of the net. You can't touch the net. So blocking's a very tough skill.
That one skimmed the tape, and somehow Ellison got it. Here's Gibson. Razorbacks got a piece of it at the net. Shelton there to take it off the swing by Evans. And Gibson way up high, dug by Jackson. Madkin blocked, but out of bounds.
Hannah Hogue. She has had a phenomenal afternoon for Arkansas. She delivers that ball all the way to the pin. Look at the set. Allows Madkin to do her thing. KG Burgess up, but just targeting her hands, driving it out of bounds.
34 assists for Hogue today, and there's right back to Shelton.
Alexa Shelton, she's 3 for 3 from the back row attack so far, or she might be 4 for 4. Just phenomenal. They got to use that more often. Aaron Mansfield has told us that.
Dangerous all over the court, and the Sooners trying to extend it to a 5th set. We have had a good one so far at McCaslin Fieldhouse here in Norman. With Kelly Files, I'm Chad McKee, ranked Kentucky. And it's too close to call. Peyton Chamberlain serving for Oklahoma. They try to extend it to the 5th set. That hits the antenna off of Oklahoma's Camille Gibson. So point Razorbacks. And we have a 1-point set.
Yeah, and I think Arkansas just got really lucky on that play. Set was a little too tight, almost going over the net.
Now it is Courtney Jackson back there to serve it. Leading the SEC in digs per set. Good back on the service line, and Geisberger gets credit for that as she rockets it off of Weeks and out of bounds.
Yeah, and I think there's a miscommunication from Arkansas, that ball going in or out. Weeks throwing her hands up. Credit to Geisberger getting the kill. Driving it deep. Creating that confusion.
Geisberger becomes the 4th Sooner into double figures in kills today. That's her 10th.
And we talk about, I mean, you bring up a major point, Chad. That's a huge difference from the Sooners last year to this year, right? Multiple people in double-digit kills. How can you score points? The Sooners finding a way to do it today. Can they win this set to push a 5?
A little moisture on the court there. They get that taken care of. And here's Whitney Wallace, who's been Oklahoma's best server today. Thurman tips into the block. Burgess somehow hung out in the air and got that. And that's off the block and down from Hui.
Hui just working out there. Transitioning, getting up and ready, vocalizing. She's loud out there. I can hear her calling the play.
This is still such a young Arkansas team at the offensive positions, really. The outside and in the middle, but veteran at the libero and center positions, and it shows. Shelton tipping over this block. Here's Thurman. Sooners block it, and there to take it is Callum. Right back to the middle and ripped by Pettis. We're tied at 16.
Wow, what a beautiful play by Arkansas. Defensively, it highlighted them defensively and then offensively as well. And then the seniors, Sonia Pettis, to be able to put the ball away. Look at that swing up against a double block, just right in the hole.
6 kills for tied in this 4th set. Sooners feed Shelton. Drills that one. Great dig by Jackson to keep it going. Hui sends it to Callie Kimoa. Geisberger just found the right spot. Hogue got a piece of it, but couldn't get it back over.
And Kari Geisberger, what she's been working on in the off season is that is the range. She was also an outside hitter for LMU for her last 4 years. So in her 5th year, she's able to work on other things, and playing from the right side position, it's a lot harder. It's a different look. And then to be able to tip that ball, Arkansas was expecting her to rip it, and that's why she was successful.
Sooners a 1-point lead. Hogue this set in the middle, and a quick attack there by Pettis.
What about Pettis? Huge kills for the Razorbacks, but credit to Hannah Hogue delivering the ball.
8 kills for Sanaya Pettis today. Razorbacks tie it at 17. Arkansas wins this set. They claim the match. If the Sooners take set number 4, we'll play the 5th. Wallace takes it for the Sooners. Here's Shelton. Drills it down.
They've worked on that out-of-system ball. Alexis Shelton, Kimoha, delivering that ball so high and inside.
Talk about Oklahoma's strategy when they are out of system.
So they put it tight and inside. It gives the hitter a lot more angles to work, so they can actually go down the line, but actually have a lot more angle. They can go sharp angle. They can go high off the block. There's a lot more opportunities to be creative.
Wow, that was so clean from Jackson. A tough dig right to Hogue. And the finish. And we're tied at 18.
At Arkansas, they just keep working. They just keep working. They do a good job of keeping good composure, resetting.
Jackson and Hogue, they're connected like Bluetooth. When Bluetooth works properly.
Absolutely.
Shelton blocked. Who was into the net? It was Shelton. So it's point Arkansas.
And another point, Chad. So here we go. We've sided out. This is the 3rd rotation. Now Madkin is left front. So you can see as the set progresses, more opportunity for her to be on the front row to score points for the Razorbacks.
Hui to serve it. Razorbacks have a 1-point lead. A little overpass there, and Chamberlain just has to get it over. Hogue the set. Madkin to the back. Wow, punched across by Ellison. Madkin right back to it. Kimoha the dig. Here's Shelton. Hogue back to Madkin. The tip to the back. And there was Wallace. Martin kills it for the Sooners. What a point.
I really like that defense by the Sooners, keeping that ball alive. Jasmine Ellison getting that ball, hustle play, send the ball over the net. You see right here, look at Ellison. She still goes for it, right? You've got to keep working, got to keep believing. That's an opportunity.
14 kills for Martin today. Oh, perfectly for Madkin and down. I mean, just watch Hannah Hogue down there on one knee, putting it in the perfect spot.
Absolutely. And then Madkin, I mean, she was going up against Lydia Martin, who puts up a huge block. Let's get another look at it again. Look at that. I mean, she knows the court well. Good vision. Again, freshman, redshirt freshman.
Easier to have freshman pins when you have a senior setter. And the Razorbacks can sense it now.
That's the play, Chad. That's the play right there. Zoe Evans. Lydia Martin has been basically unstoppable for the Sooners. And in crunch time right now, Arkansas taking care of business in senior middle blocker. Zoe Evans doing it for the Razorbacks. That was a huge point.
Aaron Mansfield and the Sooners grabbing a TO here with Arkansas up 21-19. And you're so right. And that's veteran on veteran there. Evans, the senior middle for Arkansas, who really had to bide her time to become a starter, then was a big part of their run to the Elite Eight last year. And she's huge coming up in a big spot. May not have that many chances, but you got to come through when your team has to have you.
Absolutely. And has possibly, we could say, almost struggled against Lydia Martin. Lydia Martin's been able to just kind of hit freely. And so you can see she made some adjustments on her own to take care of the ball on the block. That was a huge play.
So they huddle up with their respective sides here. This is a point for Oklahoma, and we chatted with Aaron Mansfield about this. Their message has been so well received, and a season ago they didn't have the ability to go on 4, 5, 6 point runs. They just didn't have the firepower to do it. But now with their blocking and the multiple weapons they have, they can go on those runs, and that's such a steadying influence for them.
Absolutely. And then you add Alexa Shelton, a change too, as she's playing all the way around. So now you've got such a huge offensive weapon on the back row. Look for her to run the D right now, Chad. I think that's a good opportunity for them to side out. She's 4 for 4 in this match, hitting from the back row.
Kylie Weeks on the service line. Chamberlain sets Gibson. Razorbacks get a piece of it. Madkin ripping away. And Arkansas 3 points away from a big SEC road win.
And what about the changeup by Madkin, right? We've seen a lot of her balls going to the left side of the court to that deep angle. And now she changes it up and she goes to right back. There's that roll shot. Beautiful.
23 kills to lead everyone today for Anaya Madkin. This time Kimoa the set. Gibson. Diving in comes Jackson. Madkin in.
Wow.
Riding Anaya Madkin are the Razorbacks.
What about Madkin? She has been phenomenal. And we got to give credit to Kylie Weeks. On this service run, she's putting a lot of pressure. I think they want to get Alexa Shelton the ball. The pass hasn't been there. So look for a good pass. They can get the ball to Alexa Shelton.
Chamberlain. Big swing here for Gibson. She's blocked. And it's down. What a play by Zoe Evans. Match point.
Coach Watson pointing his finger to the court, to the block. Zoe Evans and Hannah Hogue. What a huge block to get match point.
First of 4 match points potentially for the Razorbacks to try to close it out in 4. Chamberlain for Gibson. Sooners not done yet. That is kill number 21 for Camille Gibson.
She's had a phenomenal day for the Sooners.
And now still match point for the Razorbacks. Ireland McNeese will serve it for Oklahoma. Oh, the set. Madkin tips it. There's McNeese. Gibson got blocked. Burgess plays it up for the Sooners. Gibson off the block and down. So back-to-back points for Gibson to keep the Sooners going.
Absolutely. Camille Gibson, the hot hand of the night, of the day for the Sooners. And Peyton Chamberlain recognizing that, just giving her the ball again.
Another for McNeese, still match point Razorbacks. Hogue the set. Madkin finishes it for the Razorbacks, who register a big SEC road win in Norman on this Sunday.
And no doubt about it, who's going to finish the play but Anaya Mackin? She was phenomenal today for the Razorbacks. 25 kills, Chad, hitting over 300. Phenomenal job by Arkansas. Keeping their composure, I thought, did a really good job of riding the tide for the Sooners. Sooners played well offensively. They had a great offensive afternoon.
So Arkansas improves to 3-0 to start SEC play for head coach Jason Watson. Oklahoma falls to 1-3, and the first road test is a success for Arkansas. Back to recap it next on SEC Network.
When you step into a Warby Parker store, you're immediately met by, well, glasses. But there's more than meets the eye, like contact lenses.